first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's jump right in. Let's start with this new amazing album, No Failure, that you have. So much good singing on that album. What was the goal behind putting that album together for you?
Well, definitely, of course, it was time to do a new record. For my last album, I've got a testimony. But I think that it was time to share more testimonies and really minister to people and spread the message of hope and of love, the love of Jesus Christ, across the world. So. I really wanted to be intentional about how we went about this album. So that's really how it came about.
All right, so talk about the theme, there is no failure in God. What does that mean for you?
For me, there's a lot of things that I've been through in my life, especially as a young man. Specifically, losing both of my parents at a young age. That was really hard for me, and it left me with a lot of questions for God. I believe, in your healing ability. Just in who you are as my God, and I just feel like my whole world was torn apart. It felt like there was a piece of me that was just ripped away, and it left me with God. What is your plan? Why do you do the things that you do? And sometimes we never understand, but looking back and looking how far I've come and how far the Lord has kept me. He's brought me a mighty long way. Um, I'm I'm grateful for him never failing me. Things may not always go the way that we want them to, but God is a God who always covers. He provides. He makes ways, and I wouldn't be here without him.
All right, now speaking of the you losing your parents, because I actually was going to ask you that, and sorry for that, but it's so encouraging that you continue to push past and express it in your music. What's some advice that you can share with people as far as going through grief and getting through things like that are hurting and having mental anguish and things like that? They feel there's no way out. How do you encourage them to get through that?
I would say to someone that it's okay to not be okay. A lot of times I was almost too strong for my own good. And there came times where I just really, felt drained, but I had to get into my church, and my leader, my pastor. It's always good to have a pastor who cares for your soul. It's good to have a community, that really helps you through the things that you can't do on your own. Of course, it was just me. I'm an only child, so that was hard. But it's okay to get help, is basically what I'm saying. Whether it's a grief counselor, whoever it may be, as long as they lead you in the right direction. But prayer is another thing. Being in the Word of God is another thing. Although we may not understand God's ways, speaking to Him about it, being honest and open with Him. He will give answers, as he's done for me on many occasions. I'm not completely where I want to be yet, and it takes time. But there is always a light at the end of the road, and it takes your relationship with God to really seek it out.
All right, now God is an inspiration for many. What inspired that song for you?
Yes. Well, God is, of course, is a classic. A lot of the younger folks may not know, but it's an old, slow song that the old folks, our grandmas and granddads, used to just cry over. But a few years ago, I was in Rock Hill, South Carolina, with a good friend of mine, Bettina Wilson, and I got the opportunity to sing backup for her. And she did this version of God Is. It was up tempo, and I just remember how the joy of the Lord just filled the room, and it just gave us new perspective, not only on the song but on who God really is. And so, thinking about the songs for this album, I, reached out to her and said, "Hey, I want to, do this song, put my spin on it, and just make it happen." And this is how it came about. And so I'm grateful to God that He's using this song to just bless the nations. I really just want people to feel like there is hope and just to understand more of who God is.
All right, what was the absolute best part for you about putting together No Failure?
The absolute best part, Um, I would actually have to say being able to be hands-on, fully hands-on with this album, with the creative process, even with certain things behind the scenes. Because, a lot of times artists do albums and they just get to a place and they sing and they go home. But I really got to, be in the thick of it and, help where I needed to, even beyond the singing. But, of course I had people to take care of, backgrounds and music, but just being able to be in the mix and just say, hey, I want to do this, and hey, I have this idea, just to really put my handprint on it, was very, very special to me. I'm super proud of this album.
All right. Now, your tour is going to be starting this month. Talk to us about that. What can your fans expect?
Yes, you can expect an amazing time, an encounter with Jesus. My thing is always going after the presence of God first. But I'm excited to meet you all with my smiling face, high energy. We just going after God and having a good time while we at it. So I cannot wait. It's going to be an amazing time.
All right. Now, we first met you on season 9 of BET's Sunday Best as the winner of that show. Talk a little bit about that experience and how it prepared you for what you're doing now.
Yes, Sunday Best. Sunday Best was one of the most challenging things I've done in my life. A lot of anxiety, a lot of late night rehearsals and different things. But yes, it really did prepare me for what I am doing now, by just being responsible and taking initiative, and just really making sure that, your ministry is intentional. And that it's not just about singing and artistry, but it's really about ministering to the people and seeing the soul saved and people coming back to Christ and asking, what must I do to be saved? Sunday Best was an experience that I'll never forget. I got to meet so many different people, meet my heroes, and get to learn from them. Learn so much from, Kirk Franklin about the art of merging ministry and artistry. That's one of the biggest takeaways I got from, being on the show, of how to give people, who you are, but leading them to Jesus at the same time. I got to learn how to get along with other people. Even more. I've always been an open and friendly person, but you got people from all walks of life, and they come for certain things. But I'm grateful that my season, we all knew that it was about love, and it was just about, glorifying Jesus through that whole time. It was an amazing experience. If I had to do it again, I'd probably say no. But but I would do it again just for the fun of it. It was an amazing time.
All right, now we recently seen you hit the stage with our own hometown talent, Javante Patton, singing his song "Always." Can you give us some insight on how you feel about that? Just some pure advice and things like that.
Man, that Javante is something else. Absolutely love him. It was very unexpected that happened. But I had an amazing time. Being able to help, minister with him. It was great. I think that song is amazing. And just to be able to worship with other artists, I think that's super cool, that we have to do more together, in this industry, because that's the only way that we're really going to reach people, is if the people see us all coming together, unified, and just to know that it's not about, the money and the status and all that extra stuff, but we're here to lead people to Jesus. That is our goal. That is our mission to worship Jesus. And so even that day, it felt like family. Even when Kalante Gavin came up and we all just sang together, that was a very special moment for me.
Yeah, I was watching it like, okay. Okay. What do you see next for yourself? I mean, I know that, the sky's the limit. You can't really put a cap on it, but what do you see for yourself in this industry?
What I see for myself, definitely longevity. I plan to be in this industry for a long time. I'm grateful, that God has brought me so far in such a short amount of time. But I am grateful and I'm excited for the years to come, for evolution, for growth, even, honing my skills, learning how to do more. I'm a person that loves to learn from other people. If I see somebody else that is doing something better than I'm doing it, I always look for inspiration. So how can I better myself? How can I be not only a better artist, but a better minister, to people? And just really loving on people, that's just so important. But I'm excited to do more music, to create, to work with even more people, to collaborate. I always used to say I want to collaborate with everybody. So, whenever I get the opportunity, hey, you want to collab? Yes, let's go.
I was gonna ask who's on your list.
So many people, and not just even the gospel artists, but even some secular artists too that I want to work with. So that even on the secular side of things, that we can use that platform to encourage people and allow people to inquire, say, hey, I know this is a secular side, but what is that man singing about, or where does he get his joy and his peace from? And then that leads people to say, oh, well, who is this Jesus that he talks and he sings about? And that is even more souls that is coming to Christ. And so I'm excited to be able to work with some people like PJ Morton, even Jasmine Sullivan, Ty Tribbett, Kirk Franklin. There's so many artists that I'm looking forward to working with, and I know that it will happen one day soon.
What do you think some of the biggest misconceptions are within the industry about Christian artists? Like you just mentioned, being able to cross over into secular and things like that. What do you think about people that have their opinions about the mixing of that?
We have to understand that gospel artists, we are humans. We are humans too. We love other styles of music. Well, most of us do other styles of music just like anybody else would. And the question really is, are the people on the secular side, or all the people that aren't saved, the people that don't go to church, are they still God's children? The answer is yes. The answer, are we supposed to love them as we love ourselves? Absolutely. We have to continue to show love. I think there's so much separation because people don't know that we love them, and not even just talking about gospel artists, but just amongst each other. Like, we have to continue to show more and more love and let people be themselves, but tell them about who we are, who we serve, why we do what we do. I think it's a misconception that, that we are just these people that are high up on pedestals. Of course I can say there are some people in the industry that feel that way, but as for me in my house, I am just a kid that loves Jesus, that loves you, that loves everybody. And I just want people to go about their lives just knowing Jesus and trusting in him, and, having hope. That is really what I'm about.
All right, awesome. Well, Mel, we are so excited for you, and we are so excited for No Failure and what it's going to do and everything else. We will be following you. We will continue to follow up with you, and we look forward to your success.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me, and I cannot wait to connect with you guys even more.
Thank you so much. You have a good one.
You too. Alrighty. Bye-bye.